Hallelujah. So, restoring my memory, getting some more off my heart. Um, so from feel like something's on my lip. Um, so in 2023, after being kidnapped by Clean Texas Police Department, um, I was basically in there like indefinitely. They had lost my papers. They was trying to talk to me through the ceiling like they was God. They was trying to. This lady came. I don't know if she was a social worker. She was like a social worker for the um for the court, and was pretending like she was there to help me. And then she was asking me what happened. I told her what happened, like that they kidnapped me. And she got so pissed off. She was like, "Oh, you really can talk, can't you?" And she just left my cell and just like left. Um, my daughter was kidnapped by Israeli CPS. Like, what the heck is Israeli CPS? The lady showed me her badge and everything. Um, they had me in there. They was trying to get me to take the COVID shot. I would not. It was so much that happened there that I'm not going to get all into. Because I'm trying to get to catch up to present. Um, so they basically, like, because they didn't have a reason to arrest me. They arrested me for resisting arrest. They arrested me for resisting arrest. They broke into my house and assaulted me and arrested me for resisting arrest. They falsified their report saying that we had been in an altercation earlier. I had not talked to them people at all whatsoever. They tried to say their whole report was a lie. They falsified the whole report. They had two charges, but they had to, because it was resisting arrest and disturbing the peace. They said they tried to say disturbing the peace because of resisting the arrest, which they were just making stuff up, and they were made to drop that second charge. And they did not have no. They were. If I would have got the COVID shot, they would have kept me in there, because then they would have made up. They would have did something to make up charges for me to have to stay in there. I was reading scripture, going on the Most High. I did not get the shot. They had to put me in solitary confinement, so because I couldn't be around anybody else because I didn't get the shot. I ended up. The Most High told me I needed to fast, also I was gonna die. I fasted for. Doesn't matter how long I fasted. At the end of my fast, I got released. I was praying while I was in there because I didn't understand what was going on. I was just minding my business, raising my child, escaping domestic violence. Um, I prayed for the Most High to bring into my life the people that He had to be in my life, my forever people. Before that, at that time, I had no idea that my sister was messing with my husband, entertaining my husband, anything like that. I didn't know what was going on. He ghosted me. He had ghosted me five 5 years prior then. So I got out. My one of my siblings let me know that my daughter was with their dad, because the police didn't let me know nothing. They didn't tell me where my child was. They just kidnapped us. Didn't tell me nothing. They gave me an address, a fake address, to where she was basically supposed to be adopted out in the paperwork. And I was about to show up at that address and get my child. That's probably when I left. The police was like, "You'll be back." I definitely was about to go to that address and bang that door down. For sure was. But I called my mom, because it's what I was led to do. They pretended like they didn't know nothing. My youngest sister told me that my daughter was with their dad. My mom and my other sister played it off like they didn't know nothing, like they didn't know I was in jail, nothing like that. Um, I went back to California to try to co-parent. Um, my husband was being weird. He wouldn't answer my calls. That was normal. He never answered my calls. But I had called on my mom's phone and he just was weird and hung up. My mom and my sister were setting me up. My mom had told me to go get some stuff for her at the store. I went over there. My mother-in-law was over there trying to provoke me and record me on some weird stuff. I was supposed to be babysitting my niece and nephew. I sent my husband some pictures. In the morning, my sister came in the room talking about, I'm fucking your husband. And I did lose it in head butter. She knew what she was doing. I took all the kids to my sister's house. We was alone in the house. They planned to jump me. I did not want to be there. I was trying to get in contact with my husband and co-parent. I had no idea all this was going on. I got a random Facebook friend request. Normally, if it's people I don't know, I never accept their friend requests. But I had prayed for the Most High to bring my forever people into my life, so I did answer the request, and that's where I met London. Because also I added her because she looked just like the pictures of my grandma. My grandma was murdered when my mom was between 9 and 12 by my Freemason granddad. So, and then everything that I'd been dreaming my whole life just played out. After my mom and sister jumped me, the Most High worked it out where me and London were in similar living situations. We had been talking for a couple of months before they had jumped me for about 3 months. I was supposed to wait a couple more months as we were getting to know each other before I came out there, but I ended up having to come early because my mom and my sister jumped me, which scared her, and she tried to play off like she wasn't scared, but I kept reading it on her face, and she kept threatening to shoot. I kept having visions that she was going to shoot me, and every time I would ask her a question, she'd be like, yeah, that's funny, because I got my gun right now. As we're talking on the phone, I have visions of what she's doing, and I tell her, and then she tells me. So she didn't actually threaten to kill me. I just kept having visions, and I was right, because when I asked her about it, she would confess unknowingly, like that's what she was doing. But she was scared because I came early. But life. So my family didn't plan for me to be able to get away because I didn't know anyone. I didn't have anyone. They thought that they could ice me out and that I would break because that's what they do to me my whole life. As we were raised, I was always beat and just beat. And if I didn't apologize, even when I didn't do anything, they kept beating me. But once I apologized, then they start going in on me. But then, as a child, I didn't know. As I get older, as a child, I was just trying to stop being beat. And this is how they were grooming me. As I got older to understand, so I know that's what they're doing. No, I'm not going to be confessing the things that I didn't do so y'all can stop beating me. I don't want y'all in my fucking life. That's weird as fuck. But that's what they thought was going to happen. That they were going to isolate me out and that I was going to want their love and that I was going to apologize for shit that I didn't do so that they just start going in on me and manipulating me like they groomed me to do from birth. I took all of that energy. London pushed me away. I only wanted to be her friend, but with London, I was learning how to not be sexual because I didn't know that I was being sexual. People would always just tell me like, "Oh, you're leading me on. You're this," and people would be like, "Oh, you wanted this and that." But I had no gauge between what is sexual and what's not because people only so I completely was not being sexual with people, but I could see why they were saying I was being sexual. The people be like, "Oh, you're leading me on this and that." Like if I didn't know where the boundary was, so I was learning that boundary with London, and I was doing things that were I I was trying to be her friend, but it was like I was in love with her, and I was just trying to be her friend. But I was intentionally working my way out of that, and she thought I was playing with her, but I wasn't. I was sexually abused my entire life. I was trying to be friends. That was me trying to be friends. Giving her money, giving her all the attention. I was just trying to be friends though. But yeah, that's not gonna work anymore. Just beating me and I'm not apologizing for shit that I didn't do. But at that time, they were expecting me to just come back because that's what I was groomed into. And so building, I had been, I wasn't aware of I don't know. Like, after I got out of jail, London sent me a friend request a week after, and then a week after that, was the first time Erica Mason came on my page. And it was right when, after my family had just assaulted me, and I was just sitting there feeling dead, and I was praying, and I looked down at my screen, and she was saying some real stuff. And at first, like that whole first year, I was not intentionally paying attention to her. My life just felt like it was spinning. And then that second year, which was the year that she called me, I was starting to pay attention to what I've been giving all my attention to and prioritizing what and who was going to be in my life and who wasn't. And I was crying. I was telling the Most High, like, I'm alone. I wanted to be with her. And, like, I'm sitting here thinking these thoughts, and then I get a message, And that was wild. But that's how that started. I'm going to end there.